Hello YouTube. This is going to be a video around a lot of things. One thing it's surrounding is something that I'm actually a little bit worried about. As if though I couldn't have any more gloom of an outlook after the failure of a couple of videos I made last night. I guess people didn't take to likely. But supposedly Nancy Pelosi had a meeting with Alexandria Cortez. And Cortez said the meeting was good. And if that's not enough to scare the ever-living hell out of anyone, then I don't think you understand how the ruling class works in any country and how they corrupt and keep down young leaders from actually taking their rightful place running the country. And we need new leaders. And I think who's fit to rule, those who are fit to rule should rule, and those who aren't fit to rule shouldn't rule. And when someone isn't fit to rule anymore, they shouldn't rule anymore. And that's not talking about Trump, by the way, because like I have said before, he may be the only one out of many of these people fit to rule, with the exception of Alexandria Cortez, but that's only because she is young. She's new. She's just not got the job, and they haven't gotten to her yet. But they're getting to her right now, believe me. But one second. Anyways, okay, let's get to this. But beyond that, I saw on InfoWars, by the way, and that is Alex Jones' website. I guess they're trying to roll out the mark of the beast suddenly, all of a sudden. And yeah, I mean, the mark of the beast is coming. I've talked about that. I have talked about that, and I'm not talking about Christianity or some Christian concept, some fable. But they are going to try to roll out a microchipping system, and it's going to be done to your children, or probably done when you're born. And the beginning of that was circumcision. I mean, that was the first step, because if they can get you to do that to your child or to your kid, they can get you to do anything. And they're doing that already to pets now. They're microchipping your pets. And the next step is to microchip children. And they'll use immigration, or the immigrant issue, as an excuse to do that. And what it'll do is it'll control society through that. But they'll do it to you when you're a kid. At the same time, they chop off the top of your dick and they fucking pump you full of fucking mercury and all the other shit. At the same time they're doing that, they're implanting a microchip in you. And what will happen is, if you ever want to speak out against a war, or against wars, or against corruption, political or government corruption, or against anything that they do, what they will do, or what will happen rather, is this. They will turn off your microchip, and you will be thrown out of society. You'll be kicked off the grid, and that'll be the end of you. But I call myself 666, and the reason I do that is, by the way, of course, it's not because I'm evil or I believe in evil. And I've explained this before, but I'll give you an example of Aleister Crowley. When Aleister Crowley was on trial for a bunch of dumb shit that he had nothing to do with, because some of his followers did some weird crap, and he was being deported, I think, from Italy, Mussolini's Italy, and that was where the his little commune, the Abbey at Thelema, they shut that shit down. So kind of like an ending of like one good place on this earth, pretty much. Maybe the one and only good place on this earth. They pretty much fucked that up. But anyways, they asked, "Why do you call yourself the Beast 666?" And he explained, well, and it might sound silly or stupid, but to him, I mean, the beast is called, some circles of the occult call the sunshine, the sun, the great beast. So when you call yourself the Beast 666, what you're really calling yourself is Little Sunshine. And of course, everybody started laughing, because like even Victorian era Christians couldn't contain their laughter. But yeah, I mean, that's what I mean by 666. So, and like I said, I'm a Luciferian. I believe I see myself as a torch bringer. I'm kind of holding the torch to enlighten you through the darkness. I'm trying to give you my opinions of what I believe to be the truth. And maybe you disagree with me. Maybe you think I'm wrong, but I'm telling you what I think about things. So yeah, I mean, there's that. So, But yeah, like I said, I'm not sure if I already said this, but if they can get you to mutilate your children's genitals or get you to cut the skin off your child's penis, then there's no limit to what they can't get you to do. I mean, if you would lower yourself to do something like that to a little kid, what in the hell won't you do? There was no limit at that point. There really isn't. Um, so yeah, there's that, and beyond that, there is the. And I would like to talk about sun worship one second. Sun worship really, the religions, the three main Abrahamic religions are all astrotheological. They're astrological religions. They all has to do with astral theology or astrology, but it's a theological version of astrology. Judaism worships Saturn, and they talk about the Temple of Solomon, Solomon's kingdom. Well, that harkens back to the golden age of Saturn. And that what was used to be, that was at one point used to be the sun god. For some reason, some people say that Saturn was in the sky, not the sun. So Saturn was the former sun god. Then came Christianity that worshipped the sun, like the sunshine that we have now, and that's why one's holiday is on Saturday, and that means Saturn's Day. That was the god that Saturday was for, Saturn's Day. And their Sabbath is on Saturday. I think it starts at, like, I may be wrong about this, but I think it starts with at sundown on Fridays or some shit like that. And then, meanwhile, Christians worship the sun on Sunday, and the Muslims worship. Many people thought it was the moon at first because it's the Islamic star and crescent. But then again, if you think about it, well, why? And I've not even thought about this part really, but why is there a star if it's a star and crescent? Well, here's the thing: it's not moon worship; it's Venus worship. It's a worship of the astrological planet Venus. So they worship the planet Venus. So you have a kind of a celestial dance of the heavens, almost. I mean, with each one worshiping separate gods, because like the Hindus say, you can have as many gods as you want, but if you have more than one god, it means less to you. And that is why I don't really get involved in Wicca and Norse mythology and things like that. And I like Wicca and Norse mythology and stuff, but my primary main god is Lucifer, and I've said that a million times, and I have said that a million times, and I have kind of dedicated myself to that particular that particular night. I don't know if he's an astrological deity or what, but that mythos, that spirit, that god, that is my god. 1 minute. I think that was to me. I'm not sure. It looked like it was from YouTube, but it was something about Indian gentleman relation. I don't know. But anyways, if anyone said something, that was nice. I appreciate that. But the point is, my main god is Lucifer. Actually, Tori Amos supposedly is a Luciferian, or at least she wrote a song about it. And her father was actually angry at her at first because he thought she was talking about him. And she's like, no, you don't understand. I really am talking about Lucifer, because she made a song called Father Lucifer. And she really was talking about Lucifer, so it's kind of a funny story. But the point is, what I'm getting at is that, and also I would like to talk about the Muslim girl, Omar, that's in the Congress. I don't know anything about her. They say she doesn't like white people. I don't know. I assure you, she is not the only person in our government that doesn't like white people. I'm sure you have racists of all kinds in the government. All I know is no one seemed to care about anything she believed until she was critical of the occupation of the West Bank and Gaza, or she was critical of Israel's occupation of Gaza. All of a sudden now, she's a horrible human being. We've got to get rid of her. Everybody hates her, and she's a bad person. But they never said that before. And let me just say this. The real reason why we support Israel has nothing to do with liking Jewish people. It's got nothing to do with liking the Jews whatsoever. And the Bush family that was so pro-Israel, and they had John Hagee's endorsement. And John Hagee is a horrible human being if you don't know anything about him. And he told poor people to starve. He is a horrible person. And I'm not going to call him fat because I don't want to do that again, because I know people can't help the rate. The point is, horrible person. And the point is, rather, is that they set on a Jerusalem is set on a trade route, and that is where all guns, the white slave trade. 1 minute. The white slave trade, or rather the female slave trade. I'm not sure why they call it the white slave trade because a lot of it's Asian also, but that comes through there. The gun trade, the illegal firearms trade comes through there. The drug trade comes through there. The oil trade comes through there. And our country wants to be in front of the line on the cutting room floor of that to get their fucking hands on all these goodies so that they can sell it back to Americans in this country and then stick you in privately ran prisons. Okay. And that way they make double, triple the profit than they would make not doing that. That's the only reason the United States cares about Jewish people. They don't care about Jewish people. Bush was a Nazi. Prescott Bush, if you look it up, he was involved in a fucking, he ran a trade, he funded the Nazis. And what was it? Damn car company. There's a car company that's from Germany that's pretty big in America. Is it Volkswagen? I think they even made the vans for the hippies. I'm sure they didn't. I'm sure the hippies didn't know about this one, but no, they were involved in making tanks for the Germans. IBS. I've talked about this when I first started making this channel actually, and I fucked up the video. I deleted the video accidentally, but IBS ran sterilization, things having to do with sterilization, and probably eventually euthanasia in Nazi Germany. And by the way, in Nazi Germany, just like in New York now, they're killing children after they're born. In Nazi Germany, they would kill children. They would tell the parents that they died of natural causes. And this isn't even Jewish, but this is regular Germans. But they would kill children and say it was because of natural causes. And of course, it wasn't. They were secretly administrating lethal injections into the children after they're born in Nazi Germany. And they did that for years. And those are the kinds of people you have running your freaking country. So, I mean, you know, the old adage, don't be afraid. No, be afraid. Be very afraid. We're in some deep shit in this country. And like I said, the only person that seems to be fit to run this country at all is Alex Jones. I mean, sorry, not damn, bad mistake. Trump. And that, and other than somebody, I like Sanders for whatever time he lasts. And, you know, Andrew Yang, I think he has a job in the government already. I think he may be a senator or something. So, you know, you've got Sanders and Yang and Mayor Pete, the gay guy, you know, whatever. And he's okay. And I like Cortez. But Cortez, like I said, is young. And, like, really the song to this video, I wanted to say this at the beginning, I forgot. It should be Rotten Apple by Alice in Chains or In the House of Flies. 1 minute. Anyways, it should be Rotten Apple by Alice in Chains or In the House of Flies by the Deftones, because that is what you're seeing here is the corruption of the young, because she is young, she's still 20, she's still in her 20s, she's new, and they are absolutely corrupting her, and that's what this is about, and she will probably believe everything Pelosi tells her. And if you are a poor person in this country, and this is the main point that I want to make here, this is the main part of the video I want to make, if you are a poor person in this country, this should absolutely scare the hell out of you, because she will probably be president one day, and she is totally being corrupted by these people, and she's learning from them. And like I told you before, she will become just like the rest of them. And that's sad. That's sad, but it's exactly what's going to happen. And that's the video. T666.